we get stuck on the assumptives. So we assume that just because they're in a small bedroom, they need a bigger bed because it logically makes sense. But if we don't open up that emotional door in a frictionless way to get Cody to tell me exactly why, right? You'll get people that tell you things on calls like, I never had my own bedroom as a kid, and I don't want my kids to feel that. You'll get people on the calls to say, I really just want to feel like a champion because I was the underdog in life. What do you mean underdog? I was picked on, I was bullied, the girls always called me names. I don't want that anymore. I don't want my kids to feel like a loser. Oh, wow. So your superpower is empathy.
You are listening to the #1 real estate podcast in the world. We talk with real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, and stories help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan's Dream, joined by Vikram Deol of the Real Estate Sales Academy. This is a solo episode. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday, May 28th, in which is the day that we are recording this. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on iTunes, wherever you're at in the world, I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of the RE Agent Podcast. Vikram Deol, what's happening in your world of conversion? And today we're going to chat about conversion because there's a lot of cool things that are happening in the Real Estate Sales Academy. I'm seeing a lot of really, really cool wins, a bunch of people doubling their production.
Edwin is up 300% over last year.
No big deal.
Molly's going to double, maybe triple her business. And
no big deal.
Yeah. Jan's already got more listings under his belt now than he had all of last year.
No big deal.
We're not even 6 months in, right? Like Daniel Rood and the Ace team in Hawaii, they literally posted top 25 in all of Real. They're with Real Brokers. So he literally posted top 25 in all of Real, and
no big deal
for small teams for Q1. And it's just two of them. They're not even, it's him and his partner. It's not even a team. They're going up against teams that are like much larger. So no, it's a pretty big deal. Like, I'm super proud of them. They're working so hard, and they're doing the things that make them have the success. So I'm super proud of them. What's up with you, man? Other than you're completely frozen.
Living the dream. I know. I don't know whether it's my internet or your internet. We're both in Medellin, Colombia, so it could be either one of our internets. It's hard to say.
I have 500 gigabytes, so it's probably you.
Maybe it's me, but I'm good, man. Like, things are good. We're rocking the 7-figure appointment playbook. We got Sharon coming to train our clients this week, running a funnel for that right now. You and I have been chatting. We chatted the other night about potentially running an event for real estate agents.
We're not potentially, like, we are going to do it. It's just we're going to do it. Date.
Just a matter
probably
of date.
Sometime in August.
So you're doing a lot right now with agents, and as long as they show up to the Real Estate Sales Academy, I've had the opportunity to be in a lot of these meetings. As long as they show up and they implement, they win. And a lot of the times you chat with our team, you chat with your clients inside of the Sales Academy about this thing we call an overarching goal. Like, what is an overarching goal, and how does it help? What is it? Why do they need to find it when they're on calls, they're open houses? Like, what is an overarching goal? And can you explain it to us?
The overarching goal is simply the true reason why somebody's doing something, right? So I'll give an example. So my parents went out and looked at a new car. My dad's lease is up. And so my dad hits me up. He's like, hey, I love my car, but it's too long. He's got a big S-Class, right? It's so long that it's as long as a Suburban is now, right? And he hated parking the Suburban 30 years ago. It's just as long, it's just not as tall. He's like, when I park in the garage, your mom is like always it's hard for her to get in because they have this side garage, and, they built the house for smaller cars and all this stuff. And he's like, I really want a smaller car. Like, I would love to get the same features as the S-Class, but something that's like a shorter wheelbase. And I'm like, they don't make those, Pops. Like that's just gone. And he's like, all right. So we start looking at other cars. And I was like, why not get like an E-Class? He's like, I'm fine with an E-Class. Or why not get like a 2-seater coupe, and, you'll have a small back seat, but really, like, if somebody needs to go somewhere, you go mom car, you rent a car for the weekend, right? Get a van or whatever. He's like, yeah, that's fine. I could do that. Like, I would be happy with that. It's a little inconvenient. And I said, well, why not do that? He goes, well, honestly, I said, no, lie to me, Dad. I was like, or why not just buy your car then? Like, if you're going to get an S class and you're going to go to another S class, why not just buy your car?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, honestly, your mom really wants to stay in the Mercedes family because our best friend's family owns Mercedes, Bakersfield or whatever. And she's like, I really want to stay in the Mercedes family because she likes the feel of the Mercedes.
Got it.
Right? It's not that the Lexus is any less luxurious, not the BMW, the Audi, the Jaguar. There's hundreds of cars that would be compatible nowadays. And my dad's okay with any of them. He's like, dude, honestly, I don't really care, son. I don't want to spend that kind of dough on a car anymore. He's like, honestly, like I want a car that doesn't have as much power. And I said, so what's the reason why you're even looking at Mercedes? Because he sent me like 3 Mercedes. He's like, hey, there's a 23 model with 4,000 miles on it. There's a 24 that's in, LA, and there's a, then there's a 25 model coming out, but they said that you don't need to wait for the 25. You should get a 23 or 24 because a 25 is just a little bit, nothing that you're going to notice. And he's like, well, okay, so let's look at the 23 and it's black on black. And they live in a very hot city. So they're like, well, do we really want black on black? But then the deal was so good, right? 40% cheaper than the other car, 30% cheaper than the other car. And and this car has more features than the other one. And it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
And the one that they were going to give him a good deal on was a black on white instead of a black on black. So my dad's like, well, it's a commodity to him. But to my mom, there's a feeling attached to it.
Yeah.
The overarching goal is that my mom doesn't want, even though she never drives the car, to go to the parties, go to the events, have my dad seen in a Lexus versus a Mercedes for whatever reason. I didn't talk to my mom about it, but I just said, all right, so it looks like you're buying a Mercedes. He says, it looks like it, son. I said, so let's go find you the right Mercedes then. The overarching goal, go ahead. Did that land for you?
That landed for me. And like, how do we apply this back to real estate? Because we listened to
No, you don't need to do this in real estate. Just ask about bedrooms, bathrooms, pre-qualification, when they want to buy, and then put them on a search. And then when they're ready, they'll definitely going to always call.
Well, I know that doesn't work. So, don't do that. In case in case this is your first time tuning into the Realtor podcast and you haven't heard Vikram's facetious attitude, don't do that.
Wow. Aggressive. Wow. Okay.
How do you apply that back to, to real estate? Like what, we know, I think everyone knows this, and we say, hey, we want to be a relationship-based business. And,
right. But that's what sales is. Sales is opening up relationships.
How do you do that? How do you find an overarching goal when so many of us, I think we're just,
we have to remember that it's not their fault, but it is their problem that they were trained by somebody who probably wasn't as loving and caring to the prospect as we are. Right. So your superpower is empathy. Your superpower, right? There's 4 energies that you kind of play with when you're in a sales process. It's warrior energy. It's motherly energy, right? Empathy and compassion. It's playful energy, right? So if we don't play with the energies the right way, that means we bring the wrong energy to the call.
Got it.
And if we don't bring the right energy, then we're not actually going to have the success we want because we're not going to be able to help people. So one of my consultants that I'm working with right now to make our program better, she said, there's a difference between being excited and there's a difference between being convinced, like having conviction in your product. Yeah. So when you come with an overarching goal, right, it's really simple, Cody. Yeah. There's a couple of questions you can ask. The first question you can ask is, so, hey, Cody, tell me what would be different about being in a 3-bedroom house versus what you're currently in right now? Yeah. All right. Super easy. You don't have to overthink it. So you're currently in a what right now? 3-bedroom house or condo? Condo. And what are you looking for? I'm looking for a 5-bedroom house. What's important about the 5 bedrooms that you don't have in the 3-bedroom condo? Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, well, we need, our family is getting bigger, so we need more space. Oh, okay. And what kind of space are you looking for? We have to know how to probe and clarify. We get stuck on the assumptives.
Yeah.
So we assume that just because they're in a small bedroom, they need a bigger bed because it logically makes sense. Mm-hmm. But if we don't open up that emotional door in a frictionless way to get Cody to tell me exactly why, right? You'll get people that tell you things on calls like, I never had my own bedroom as a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kids to feel that. You'll get people on the calls to say, I really, really, really I just want to feel like a champion because I was the underdog in life. What do you mean underdog? I was picked on. I was bullied. The girls always called me names. I don't want that anymore. And I want my kids to feel like a loser.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that's a really easy question to ask, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are you helping people find that?
So it's funny that you brought this up, and it's funny that we're talking about this today because I was working with an ISA team I'm doing some private consulting for right now, and we literally chatted about this today, and I said, just assume that you don't understand what the person say at all times.
Like there's a language barrier.
Yeah, like assume that you don't actually know what they mean. If you enter the call and assume that you don't know what they mean, you'll have better results on your calls because you'll ask more clarifying, what we call more clarifying and more probing based questions. Yeah, so this is great.
Here's an easy one. So tell me, and so like this could be like on a lead that's always telling you, call me back, I'm in a rush.
Yeah.
So like you've already kind of had some relationship with them. So you could be like, hey man, oops. So Cody, I apologize. And I just have a couple minutes before my next meeting, but what was it about? Like, let's say you met him at an open house, right? And you're calling him back. Instead of saying follow up and, hey, how are you? And all this stuff. Hey, what was it about this 5-bedroom house? And I know you might not remember this one, but what was it about 5-bedroom homes with big backyards and the open layout in Clyde Hill that's important to you now, though? Right? Or the second one I like is, and I have a whole bunch of them for our clients, but tell me, like, what's different about having proximity to Mama Bear? Right? And having that, 5 bedrooms or the 3 bedrooms or having your own garage compared to what you have now.
That's great.
It's the overarching reason why they actually raise their hand. It's not about the bedrooms. It's not about the office. It's about
the
what
logistics
those bedrooms and offices offer them that they're not currently getting now.
Yep. You're 100% right. And wrapping up here, like, kind of like the outsider looking in, like, we started out talking about the results that people are driving for their businesses right now in the Real Estate Sales Academy. And something I would encourage you, to do is if you're at all interested in learning what to say, how to say it, in order to get more buyers and more sellers to choose you. Because there are people doing things in your local market. If you're all interested, reach out directly to Vikram to have a conversation because like Molly, because like Edwin, because like Daniel's team, it's all possible. So, we don't want to do a ton of promo of around what we do. I hope you got some value today around the overarching goal. And like, even if you were to take that and do it yourself, but if you want some more advanced sales training, reach out to Vikram at Coach Vikram Deol on Instagram. Just DM him the word sales and he can kind of walk you through what we're doing to help our clients actually drive real results in the real estate space. And then like, if you're averaging 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 deals a year, we can show you what these people are doing to 2 to 3x their deal flow. And that's, I would encourage you, reach out to Vikram directly. Any last words you want to say before we kind of close out today?
It's not easy in this space. I've been there. I am an agent. I'm a real estate agent. I was alone. I was scared. And if that's you, just join us in the Real Estate Sales Dojo. Maybe you're not ready for training and like any of that stuff yet. Just come hang out with us inside the Real Estate Sales Dojo so that you get some support, you get more advanced training, and it doesn't cost you anything, but there's really supportive people that are part of our training program that if you ask questions, they'll help you with, and they'll give you better frameworks and tonality and like how to approach different situations that you're losing deals to now. So that's all, man.
We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the RE Agent Podcast. We'll see you soon.